Okay, so now in the last video, I had shown you how to highlight the entire row based on a particular cell having something in it. I think the last one was we had picked like seafood and said as long as the row has seafood, make the whole row, then whatever color, whatever bordering you want to put in there. What we're going to do here is we're going to set up a variable. So instead of referencing seafood or whatever the category is in the formula itself, we're actually going to reference that name, that item out here. Thus, all we'll have to do is go to here and make a change to that, change it to a different category, and it will automatically update. All right? So how do we go about doing that? Well, pretty much it's along the same lines what we've already done, just a minor little tweak. So the first thing, though, will be to select that first cell, Control, Shift, right arrow key, down arrow key. That'll get that whole area selected, all right? And then we'll go back into conditional formatting, new rule, and then use a formula. Now the formula in this case, we're going to go with the categories. We're going to say equal, $symbol, and then what? Looks like the first item is what? H3. So H3 equals, all right? Now watch this, equals, and then we just go ahead and click onto this cell right here, and it will automatically put in L3. Now L3 is fully absolute. It needs to be that way. So if you take that off, any of the dollar symbols off of that, it's not going to work properly. So there you have it. Now what we're going to do then, we'll go to Format. We'll go over to the Fill, and we'll just go with, let's say, light red. All right, and that's it. We go ahead and hit OK. Hit OK again, and there we go. Now, nothing's highlighted because there's nothing in here, right? So we'll go over to here. I'll type in, let's say, seafood. Enter that in. There it goes, right? Go back there and type in beverages. Enter that in. There's your beverages. Not bad. So that's the first one. Let's look at another example, and that'll be over here with my second tab here. And here, what we're going to do is we're setting up a double variable. And in essence, what we're going to be doing here is making it so where when we type in a range, now I left it as category, that's a mistake there. I meant to have this be this name here. Let me just do the total on that one. All right, there you go. No big deal. So the deal here is that we want to set this formula up for the conditional formatting where it takes into account both of these and only gives me the those records, those rows that fall between these two ranges. Just so you know too, I set up the formatting on these two cells to where not only would it show the number that was in there, but also would show some extra text in there to give you the idea that this would be greater than or equal to 16,000 and less than or equal to 20,000. All right. I've got other videos out there where you can actually see how to do this. I don't want to get into this right now, but if you just had it in there as just 16,000 and 20,000, it'll work just fine. All right. So at this point, then, what we need to do first of all is we need to select the area like we do usually. So we'll go back in here and let me also zoom out here so I see that better. Okay. So I'll click on that first cell, Control Shift, right arrow key, down arrow key. All right. So there you go on that. Now we're going to go back into conditional formatting, new rule, and then use a formula. All right, so here it goes. So what we're going to be putting in is a formula, but it's also going to include the AND function. And we have to do that because we're going to be talking about two different criteria, one where it's greater than 16,000 basically, and less than or equal to 20,000, all right? So we'll have the formula reflect that, but because it's those two things, two or more things, we have to have the AND in there, okay? So we do equal, We'll do our A and D, left parenthesis. Now, the first one is going to be the reference for this. So we're going to say for the I, because obviously it's all referring around column I here, we're going to put in there dollar symbol, I, and in this case, what is that? I3, right? So we put in a 3, is greater than or equal to, and then we'll click onto this cell here. All right? Then we'll put a comma in there. And now the same thing again, dollar symbol, I3, okay, is less than or equal to what? This cell here. You see the difference there? So it's greater than or equal to basically, in this case, 16, and less than or equal to 20. All right, so it gives us that range in between. All right. So then we'll go back and click on a format. Go back, we'll do the fill, we'll do maybe we'll do the blue. All right. I'll go over to maybe the border. I'll put a border at the top and bottom on this one. Hit OK, so that's how it's going to look. Hit OK again, and there we go. So if you look at any of the numbers in column I, they all fall between 16 and 20,000. All right, they're all in there. Now, if I go to this one right here, and I say, oh, that was really supposed to be, 15,000, well, then it goes away with the formatting. If I go to this one here, and it tells, and I find out that it was really supposed to be 21,000, well, then it's going to be outside. I meant 20,000. All right, then it'll fall in there. All right, so that's it. So hopefully this will be useful to what you're doing. Appreciate you watching the video. Thank you.